Stayed up with that.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll sit there and beat this dog all up.
Hopefully.
Dog. I'll beat this dog.
Well, I can't.
Just the dog.
So, welcome to my channel, and hopefully, the internet will stay up. I went 5 days without any internet. Hi, Gloria. Today we are going to be making some people call them franken pages. I just call them collage pages for background that I'm going to be making. So I have some stuff printed out and pulled out to use to layer that with. So, hi, Rosie. You're still in New Jersey, Gloria? So, I started a journal just to put in it. So we're hopefully within the next, if my internet holds out, within the next couple days, I will have the first installment of the video put up. So, because everybody's been asking for some other things, we're going to do, like I said, some franken pages. I've got all of my ephemera over to the side of me over here, and some pages pulled here. I just stuff everywhere. So this little space that you see is about the cleanest place on my desk. So this first piece that I'm using is a piece of music paper. And I got it, I don't remember who I bought it from, one of those lot sales that we all love and enjoy going to. So, and I'm just using my Tim Holtz ruler to, hi Denise, hi Tammy, to tear the edges, because I want to sew around this when I'm done and make it, like I said, so that it is usable. And I'm just going to use this Elmer's Craft Bond glue stick as long as it holds out, and then when it's gone I will use my trusty art glitter glue. But since I'm going to sew over this, it doesn't need a, what's the word I'm looking for, a really super bond. I'm not going to ink. That's my goal, is to not actually ink up the page. It's something different in this journal. I need a book page to glue on, because I ink everything. And I sprayed, I keep this bottle here beside my desk, and it is tea, really strong tea with some alcohol in it so that it doesn't mold. So I inked up or sprayed that page of music paper because it was a little too new looking for me. So, and I don't think about it. I know what I want to use and I just put it down. I think that's what most people do. Are you getting a lot of buffering? It's been storming here. Hi, Christina. Oh, that's Kilborn. I'll get your names straight. I do have a list. None here? Okay. Well, if it buffers too much and I lose you, we'll just have to do this another time, because I really can't fight it. So this is a piece from a herb book that I have, but I want it squared. Not perfect, but squared. I'll probably put fussy cut items over some of it. So move this where you can actually see what I'm doing. This kind of paper I usually don't use because it has a little gloss to it, but I'm going to this time. Step out of your comfort zone, right? So I didn't get to do my live last week because I had no, whoops. And this is really thin, like masking paper that I'm putting this on so that it won't be really heavy in the journal when I make it. Now this came inked up on the edges, so we're just going to go with it. The printables, these were from freebies from, I believe it was Old Design Shop. I'm sorry, Tammy. The week before I live, because I was not feeling good. I was just really tired and worn down. Hey, Elizabeth. Hi, Lauren. Yeah, I just wasn't feeling good. And when I don't feel good, I just try to rest. So, and when my daughter's home in the summertime, she watches Netflix on her computer. We don't have the best internet anyway. Yeah, once you have a heart attack, they say it is really hard to get over the tired feeling. My brother had a heart attack. It was a year ago in February, and he says he stays tired a lot. This is just going to be some white space. It's not an easy thing to recover from. April 11th. Yeah. My brother's was in the middle of the night. Or it seemed like the middle of the night. Anyway, he was very blessed to live through it. He had what they call the widowmaker. Baby wipe. Yeah, health issues, you know, we got to do what we got to do to take care of ourselves, and everything else will come as it's in its own time. This is a piece of book page from the book Wind in the Willows. I altered it a while back, and I just kept the pages out because I thought they were pretty. I have health issues myself. It's not something I talk about on my channel a lot, but you know, like arthritis stuff, but not arthritis, but rheumatoid type arthritis. I am just making some Franken pages to go into a journal that I'm making. I'm doing a step-by-step tutorial on how I make, and not how to make, but how I make my hardcover junk journals. Hi, Erin. Did you get your package, dear? I hope it got there in one piece. Because my post office man was like, is that the right address? I'm like, well, that's what she gave me. So I'm just using scraps, bits and pieces of things I have laying around. And I've got a bucket down here of a bunch of scraps. Okay, I'm glad. You never know when you send something in the post office what it's going to turn out to get there. Or if it's going to get there. The lace and trims, because I don't use Fabri-Tac because I don't like the smell. It gives me a really bad headache. I just use my art glitter glue. And if you don't trust it, you could always use the Fabri-Tac, which everybody says is the best. But when you get migraines from it. Oh, it's okay. That's okay, Erin. I wonder because I don't want to promise somebody something and they not get it. This is a printable off of the internet of an old ledger. And this is a lot of just going to be a lot of letters, not a lot of floral, a lot of the same colors. Somewhere there'll be a butterfly. I kid you not. It's my signature. Okay, Elizabeth. These are just like the cutoffs when I was making pages for another book that I made. And so why throw them away when you can keep them? Yeah, a butterfly, no way. I would love to have a butterfly sanctuary. They'd never survive where I live. I think they're gorgeous. Oh, and my husband was walking the dog one day and one landed on her. And she's scared of everything that flies. So that was quite funny. Need something bigger. Let's see. If you haven't seen it, this is my bucket of scraps. One of my buckets of scraps. It's an old ice cream bucket. Your internet is terrible. Yeah, mine is too. I have Frontier, if anybody knows what that is. It runs through the phone line. So it's just a step above dial out. Some days I think dial out was better. Make that a little smaller. Went to a butterfly house at Yankee Peddler Festivals. It was beautiful with all the flowers. Yes. When my husband and I first got married 25 years ago, I ordered a butterfly bush and planted it. And my dad was handicapped. He had one artificial leg and he fell on my butterfly bush and killed it. So I decided it wasn't meant to be. And we had a drought that year. So I had never seen one until I got that one in the mail because I ordered it from a catalog. I love flowers, but I haven't planted any in 3 years now? 2-3 years now, because every time I do, it is so dry all summer. And I'm like, I get tired of watering things because we have a big vegetable garden. And so the flowers take a back seat to food for the family. Mind frame. Okay, let's see. Here it goes. But I do it anyway. There's another piece of book page. I set things down and lose them constantly. My dad had a greenhouse when I was a little girl. So we sold plants So I was around planting all my life. We grew multiple kinds of sweet potatoes, tomatoes, you name it, we had it. It was a constant water garden. I'm sorry, these hurt too much, Christina. And now that's what that's like. Yeah, so we did a lot of gardening growing up. Acres of gardening. And it just carried on. We canned. I haven't canned for a couple years, but we used to can everything, green beans especially. I have to have green beans. I can't stand the ones I buy in the store. Yeah. We grew so much stuff that he actually rented property we have 34 acres, but he rented property so that he could plant more sweet potatoes. So we had an old station wagon, and we'd have to fill that old station wagon up with water and haul it to the property because there was no water on it, just to get the plants watered every night until they set root good. Oh, goodness. Notifications every time I get on live or to try to make a video. No buffering. Aaron's not buffering. Oh. Yeah, they've been messing with a lot of stuff lately. So I like how this is turning out so far. Which is good, right? That, let's see. Let's get some more of the script writing in here. Come up there. Oh, they had to cut out part of your trees. That's awful. I'm not sure what that. I've never heard of that one, but I've been thinking about satellite internet, my husband and I, because it gets so bad here. Trying to get anything. Because there's cable a mile away. Thank you, Elizabeth. A mile away in both directions. They just will not meet them in the middle. I have no earthly idea why. It just doesn't make sense. They say they don't have enough people, and I'm like, maybe 20 years ago you didn't have enough people, but there is definitely enough people on our road now that would pay for the internet and cable. What do I do with it? With this one, I am going to I'll scan it first so I have a copy of it. And then I'm putting it into a junk journal that I'm making. I'm going to sew around it first. It'll be like the cover of one of the signatures that I'm putting in it. If I don't use anybody else's designs, like I would put it on Etsy in a digital kit, but I don't want to get in any copyright infringements or any of that stuff. So I just want to share pretty things. Because I don't know all the copyright laws. I'll be honest with you. I'm just a little backwoods West Virginia girl trying to have fun with paper. The backwoods part's a joke because I'm not really backwoods, but that's how the world sees us anyway. Hillbillies. Yes, as hillbillies. Yeah, I like to scan it. Then I can put multiple copies of it into my books. Let's do the graph side. And I make envelopes from it. I make tags from it. Hi, Deb. It could just turn up just about anywhere. I just like the variances of the colors or the styles of paper. I don't know why. Every time I get on here, start crafting, it seems like the heat in the room multiplies by about 100. Hi, Crafty Kitty. I had some. I have a bunch of them done that I was going to make me a new journal from, but I cleaned off my desk the other day, and now I can't find them. Go figure, right? Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Dan singing your song, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda. Rhonda, I made you a moderator, dear. Yay, I'm glad you're doing okay. So we need something else right here. Something with a little bit of pattern in it. And I'm trying to use all the same like strengths of paper, if that makes sense. I can't remember what they're called, like GSM or whatever, you know. So that it all is the same. So when you fold it in a journal, it's not cracking and such. Okay, well, now I have. There we go. That'll work right there. Thank you. Patchwork. That's a good word for it. It's going to be the cover of a signature in a journal, Rhonda. Rhonda's one of my buddies that get on Google Hangouts with us, and we have a good time. It's nice to have made friends in the YouTube world. And one more piece. I forget who it is.
Again, ruin the reputation.
Rhonda, Dan says, I ruined your reputation. You're hanging out on YouTube with, or on Google Hangouts with me. You know, the director's in the background always giving his opinion. Help me, Rhonda, get her crafting from her heart. Was that fit? Yes. Okay, so there's one. And then I'm going to make sure that glue dries completely. I'm going to sew it so the glue stick will be fine. If I wasn't sewing it, I would not use a glue stick. I'm not a glue. And yes, it will fall off over time, but with the sewing, it will be fine. Oh, that's not good. I'm sorry. I guess people just change and move on and do other things. Do they still do YouTube? Or was it just on Google Hangouts? All right, let's have some blue in this one. Has anybody else lose this ruler? Just on Hangouts, yeah. It's hard sometimes to find the time to go on Hangouts and just do just that, hang out. But we don't do it all the time, but you lose everything. Yeah, I lose that ruler because it's clear, and my desk is black, and it just blends in, and I can't see it. I think I just glued that to the book. Oh, sorry. I've been having eye allergies or something. They've been itching like there's no tomorrow. This is a piece that I used food coloring on, and the ink that was on the graph paper itself ran. So, and it wasn't something I printed on the computer. It just ran. Sometimes I hate notifications. I always end up with more glue on me than the paper has. So, okay. I have paper everywhere, so this one's going to be kind of colorful. Ooh, that one tore too easily. Let's I will show you all my version of an ephemera folder here in a minute after I finish this page. I made mine out of file folders, and I love it. It turned out so pretty and holds so much. And I have a cookbook I finished, and a new art journal that I started working on. So has anybody else been crafting a lot, or just chilling, or hanging out and watching YouTube or television? I did find a new show. It's not a new show, but it's a new show to me on Hulu, from Lark's something to Candleford. It's a set in the old days, and I love it. It's so good. But I don't watch a lot of regular television, so I think I just want that as the coffee dyed paper. Altering dominoes. I've never tried that. I'm not a big alterer, if that makes sense. Altered books every now and then, but more of just paper craft. Oh no, a migraine, that's no fun. That kind of thing. The altering, I have to leave it for somebody else, because I never think mine looks good when I do try it. Which is weird, because I can take a paper and make it into something beautiful, but if I try to use lace and such to cover something, I just think it looks hideous. Just keep trying. That's what you have to do, Deb. Just keep trying. Or in the words of Dory, just keep swimming. So my daughter's going out of town to the beach for the weekend. I told her she owes me big time because Toy Story 4 comes out. It starts tomorrow, and her and I've seen every one of them together. So we're gonna miss the actual premiere. It's what's on Hulu. Hold on a minute. Yeah, I'm glad she's going to the beach. They're only going to be going for the weekend. It's her best friend. Excuse me. Her best friend at Virginia Beach. So they're going down to celebrate her birthday. Oh, Aaron, I'm sorry. I told Ashley that she owes me a marathon. We have to start with one, watch them all, and then we can go to the movies and see the fourth one. Excuse me again. Suddenly got a cough. I love Toy Story. I'm a big kid at heart. Oh, was it? You guilted Tess into going with you? There's no guilt. I told Ashley as soon as I heard they were making it, I'm like, whatever the date comes out, you put that on your calendar because you have. And then she did this. So. But we're still going to go see it. So we wore the first one out on VHS, and my niece went to a flea market and found me this one had never been opened. Ashley is 21. She will be 22 in October. She's going into her fourth year of college. And she at one time wanted to be an animator. She has since changed that. She's doing graphic design. And she's loving it. She's doing her internship right now. She seems to really be enjoying it. Although I think she's gotten a taste of what the real world is like. People. It's a whole new thing when you have to go out and get a job. And she's had a job, don't get me wrong. She had a job in high school, but it was different when you actually have to use that money for responsibilities and can't always use it on what you want. When we took, I don't remember there being a Buzz Lightyear ride when we took Ashley to Disney in 2007. But isn't it crazy how fast they grow up? I just remember her coming in carrying Buzz Lightyear and Woody and looking at me going, I'm going to make the next one. I'm going to make the next one. She wanted to work on the next Disney movie, and that was still when it was the first one out. I know the original movie came out, what, in 95? I'm not sure. They all thought it was funny because she jumped up on my mom and dad's bed. And it was quite funny, but it scared my mom. And she had Buzz Lightyear in her hand, and she had a little speech. You know how little kids are. She had a speech problem, and she couldn't say infinity, and so she jumped up on the bed and was playing with it, and then decided to jump off. And as she jumped, she went to Mbimbaby and be bond. My mom about had a heart attack, and I about cried myself laughing. Yeah, I think it was 95 because Ashley was born in 97 and it was already out. But it was always her favorite movie. She could recite it word for word. 2002, 2003. Yeah, we were there in April of 2007. I don't remember that ride, but that's not to say it wasn't there. Yep. Okay. What else are we going to put on here? It's unfathomable to me that she is as old as she is. It was there 6 years ago. Well, okay. I'm like I said, I'm not saying it wasn't because I don't do rides. I went so that she could have the experience of going, and I wanted to hug Mickey Mouse. Plain and simple. I wanted to hug Mickey Mouse. And when I got to hug Mickey Mouse, and I know it's just a man in a costume, but I said, I've waited my whole life to hug you. And Ashley's going, oh, Mom. And then I hugged Pluto and Goofy. And yeah, then I was ready. I was like, okay, we can go now. I remember watching a Mickey Mouse Club when I was a little girl and singing it. Singing that song. Pluto and Goofy, yep. One of the first dates my husband and I went on was to the drive-in theater, and the opening movie was called A Goofy Movie. I don't remember what the second one was, what we actually went to see, but I remember the first one. Yes, Mickey. Yep. We had a light up Pluto that sat underneath our Christmas tree for years too. Ooh. Butterflies. And then Snoopy. Snoopy was my other favorite. He's still my favorite though. I never outgrew Snoopy. I kind of outgrew Mickey. They changed the Mickey Mouse show went off, and by the time Ashley was born, the whole Mickey thing was totally different for me. And she still watched it, but
Her favorite was Cat Dog.
yeah, she was more into Rugrats and Little Bear and Franklin, and you have a real life Chips and Dale in my yard. Oh yeah, we got plenty of them. Mm-hmm.
Rocky.
Yeah, we got plenty of Rockies and Bullwinkles. Well, no Bullwinkles, but when I was younger, I had a whole collection of mice. Ashley liked Bert and Ernie. I never watched the Sesame Street when I was growing up. And I didn't. We watched Captain Kangaroo.
Cartoon.
And we had a thing here in West Virginia called Mr. Cartoon. It was a local thing. And he had his pal Beeper with him. And they came on every day at 4 o'clock. And we're on for an hour. So all the kids and around would hurry to get home from school so they could sit down and watch Captain or Mr. Cartoon and Beeper. Mr. Green Jeans, yes. Remember Mr. Green Jeans, Captain Kangaroo, and thanks, Elizabeth. Hope your appointment goes well. Have a great night. I remember that. I had to look it up because I had never heard of it. I had never heard of that show, and you were talking about it, and I was like, I was actually at work when you did that, and I was like, okay, I'm right here by the computer. I got to look this up because I had never heard it. And my daughter loved, I don't know if your children watched it or not, the Magic School Bus, where they would get on the school bus and it took them everywhere. Junk Journal Shop is Johnny, right? I don't, my list is buried. I know this all when I go on and I'm on their lives, and then they come to mine and I'm like, The Magic School Bus. Ashley loved it. Oh, that one needs to come up. It's crooked, crooked, crooked. Don't like crooked. Unless I intentionally place it crooked. Oh, we don't want to mention him. I still have nightmares over that dinosaur. Well, I was watching Natasha's live, distracted when they said hi to you, Johnny, and I was like, no, wait a minute, that's Natasha. No, wait a minute, no. I'll get it right one day. My daughter, I will tell you a Barney story. My daughter loved Barney, so she watched when she's real little. We had so many Barney VHS tapes that she could literally watch it round the clock and not see the same one twice, I think. And my husband come home from work one day. He's a mechanic, okay? He come in and he's laughing because as soon as he walks in the door, Barney's playing. And I'm like, what's so funny? And he goes, oh, I got called out at the shop today. And I'm like, okay. He says, I was going through the shop singing, I love you, you love me. I thought I was going to die laughing before I got sit down. It was hilarious. Okay, so there's 2. I think I like the first one better, but that's because this is my wheelhouse of colors. And then this one has my butterfly. Oh, yes. Ashley loved Teletubbies too. We had every single one of them, the little stuffed characters. And, yes, butterflies. I got to get a butterfly on this one yet. But I've got to sew around those. But I want to show you real quick the file folder ephemera book I made. So I used, thanks Rhonda, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 folders. I glued them together, like sides together, so you have this big pocket here. Whoops, I'm losing. And then I took vellum and cut it and glued it around to hold the little ephemera pieces that I have. These are ones that still need fussy cut, some labels, all my butterflies. I don't know if I can zoom out. Hold on a minute. Nope, I'm out as far as I go. These ones are fabric butterflies that I cut out. And these are just some images that I shrunk down. And then this is all my stamps. I bought 100 stamps from Judy Evans Parker, and I bought some from Brooke, I believe. They're still where they're stamped and it's embossed, and they're so cool. Yes, I got some of them from Judy, but like I said, there's a big pocket in each one. I haven't put anything in yet. And then I just kind of went with the ephemera that I had and made pockets to fit it. Yes, everyone's folders are so pretty, and they're all different. And then this one I put a long piece here, so if I had something tall that I needed to put in. Am I buffering for anyone else? All right, minimize that. Thank you. Okay, I'm sorry. Just have to bear with me, please. Yeah, they're customized to each person. And then in this one, I put these blank tickets that I just got from Barbara, who's Cali Scrapper. And then this one, I've got all these different cards, and I turn this sideways so it's coming loose. And I got these little tiny ones here to hold these little itty bitty circles. I'm sorry, Deb. I'm blessed that we've been on here 45 minutes and it's just starting to do that badly. So yeah, that is my version. And I use this paper pad. Well, here it is. K & Company paper pad to cover it with. So I'm going to make a couple more. And then my friend Rebecca, I was talking to her about them, and so she made me this one. And she used Project Life card holders that she got and sewed into the book to hold ephemera. And then she sent me some stuff in it too. So yes, Barb does have the neatest stuff. I got one of her piano rolls today in the mail. They're so pretty. My daughter looked at me like I was crazy when I said I was going to cut it up. Oh, so pretty. So I don't know if I'll have the heart to cut it up now or not, but Rebecca knows I love butterflies, so yes, her infamous piano rolls. Lesson learned, I'm sure. So in this one, she put a tuck spot and put some stuff there, and then the rest of them are blank so that I can fill it up. And this one's really big. Barb's channel is Cali Scrapper. Let's see if I can link it. Hold on one second. I won't be able to see chat for a moment. It's Cali Scrapper 1. Okay. That should be her YouTube channel right there. She does some live sales and stuff like that. She's a really, really sweet lady. So that is the one she sent me. And show and time. So there's a tag I made the other night. I can never find my mouse when I need it. The little arrow that's on it. Yeah, she's pretty funny too. And then I tried my hand at some ribbon. What's it called? Not ribbon. Ruffle. This is a piece of fabric with some trim on it. On book page. And this one is the same. This is a vintage stamp. A real vintage stamp, not a replica. I did this one, and then I put gesso over the top of it, some of it. An envelope. And another envelope. And I sewed around them all. Now this one is a different, this one is for a swap with my friend, Rebecca. So it's an envelope that has a tuck spot on the front. Hi, Dorinda. And then it has a spot here inside of it where you can tuck, put whatever. And then on the back side of it, it also has, if I can get my fingers to function, it has another pocket here. And then when you put it on the page, if you leave it open, you can tuck something behind that. So Dorinda, Judy Parker was just talking about you. Since she hadn't seen you for a while, so she was worried about you, wondering about you. So just thought I'd send that along. So yeah, we're doing 5 different pockets. They each have to be completely different from one another and not something that we've really made before. So it's fun. Her and I do kind of like a monthly swap. She just sent me the cutest little book. She got mine. It is a 3-inch by 3-inch junk journal. You're welcome, Dorinda. She still has you on her prayer list, so I thought you might want to know. But it's so cute. Yeah, it's not Rebecca C. She is on Instagram. I met her on Facebook through Journal Junkies. So I don't really know a Rebecca C. Yeah. I can't think what her last name is on what her last name is on Instagram. She's on my lives here sometimes. I haven't seen her tonight though. So it's so cute. Little mini guest check things. I have a video for mine. I just have to upload the one I made her. She doesn't do videos, so she does a lot of beadwork. She's a very good crafter. And she is a very good friend. I'm thankful that she reached out to me to swap with her. And it just formed a good friendship. So, all right. So, should I do one more of those? Yeah, I love the little mini books, but those mini books are twice as hard to make as a big book. You got to pick your. Does he still like his job, Dorinda? Yeah, the little mini books take so much time. This one we're going to do on white paper. And see what we come up with. You're welcome. I'm glad he likes it. It makes a world of difference when you like your job. There's some antique paper that I got in a box of napkins. Lost my glue. Yeah, it's wonderful to when you finally get a job and steady work. It makes for a lot of less stress in your life when you have steady work. Oh, hold on just a second. $360. Sorry about that. I had a message from my brother's wife I needed to attend to. I'm thankful for my job most days, and then there's some days I'm like, why? Thank you, Rhonda. I do appreciate it. I love it, having my friends come to visit my channel. If my internet cooperates, I'll have more videos up soon for y'all to look at. I just tore that one. I'd say that Rhonda's my biggest fan. Or she likes my husband singing "Help, Help Me, Rhonda." One of the two. I'm gonna have to switch pages here. Turn that over. Okay, we're gonna use some more butterfly. See, lost it. Lost it again. I get so relaxed in doing this stuff that I forget. I'm like, oh, remember to talk. Remember to talk. Remember to talk. You love being serenaded. Yeah, he's pretty good about doing stuff like that. It's because he's, as we call him Uncle Goofy for his nieces. One of them will be, what, 20? Either 19 or 20 this year. She's in her first year of college. Just finished her year of college. And she still calls him Uncle Goofy. I lost the hair. Uncle Goofy and Cookie Monster. Those are his nicknames. And I think the girls that we called him Cookie Monster to truly believed he was a monster. They were growling at him. Let's see. Here's a pretty piece. Keep looking over at the modem for the internet to make sure it's still on live and not stopped on me. That butterfly paper is from Etsy. I cannot tell you the name of the shop right now. I printed it out in like 4 different colors. I thought it was gorgeous. I don't remember where I got this one at. Probably Etsy also, because I was working on a cookbook. Ugh. Glue's getting everywhere. I'm doing a cookbook for my niece for her Christmas present. It's almost done.
That was her birthday.
Well, Dan says, I thought it was her birthday present. It probably will end up being because I can't wait to give it to her. That's just how I am. I'm so excited for somebody to get what I made that it's like, oh, I can't wait any longer. Let's put this report card for I can't read the name. Beatrice. And I just went on to some of the designers' shops that I've bought from and got some of their free digitals. I printed them out for this. So, because you can get ephemera anywhere. I have a whole box sitting in my kitchen I need to go through that came out of my mom and dad's dresser drawers when we cleaned. And I haven't had the heart to actually go through and dig through it. I'm sure it'll probably go into family journals. Am I boring everybody, or did it just not, is it not working? Piece was a little bit too heavy, but yeah, it's hard to go through it, Deb. I enjoy seeing it, if that makes sense, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Everyone's just quiet. Okay. I'm liking how this one's looking. Let's have some music paper. If some of my teachers from school could see me now, they would wonder what in the world happened to me. Because when I was in school, if my piece of paper was wrinkled, if the corner was turned down, I had to rewrite it. I didn't like to erase. I had to rewrite it.
And that's why you're talking there.
I'm like, I couldn't turn a piece of paper into especially my English teacher. It had to be perfect. I think because when I was in kindergarten, I couldn't spell my last name. And my kindergarten aide sat in the classroom with me for 3 entire days at lunch and helped me to learn how to spell my last name. And I always, from that day on, tried to make everything I did and handwriting and everything perfection, because I wanted her, and to this day, I still love this lady to pieces. I still talk to her. I wanted her to know that I was doing my very best. And if I would thought it would had to be good enough for everybody else, but if I was turning in a piece of paper that was wrinkled and torn or tattered or folded into a book, then I wasn't doing my very best. I was turning in subpar stuff. So I know I'm strange. But in my attic is all my papers that I wrote in high school. And they're probably still in mint condition, other than yellowing, because they were all still left in folders. It had to be perfect. Mrs. Joyce is like family to me. Yes, I still have my high school, not every single one of them, but like we had to do a senior paper, and it was a research paper, and we didn't have computers when I went to high school. I mean, we were just learning computers. And I did my senior paper was on how to operate a daycare center and what kind of degree you had to have and the laws for a daycare center. And it just shows you how much dreams have changed over the years. I really, truly thought when I was in high school that I would be one of two things: a owner of a daycare center for children, because I love children, or a history teacher, because I loved history. My English teachers wanted me to major in English, but I didn't want none of that. I didn't want to conjugate verbs and all that kind of stuff for the rest of my life. That was for sure. But English came easy to me. Not so much anymore, but history was my easiest class. And I even had down to the name of the daycare center. I got to take home a PC to work on my term paper. It was about acid rain. Yep. And then I had to do the other report that I'm 99% sure that's in that box upstairs is the one about the Holocaust, because that paper was given to me as a special project from my history teacher in 10th grade, and it took me an entire half of the year to do the complete paper. The original paper was turned in on time, but he wanted more, and so I got extra credit for this paper. Not that I needed it, but
I still got my brick wrapped in Christmas paper.
Dan says he still got his brick wrapped in Christmas paper. Yes, I just snorted. Oh gosh. I did a paper on plate techniques in night school college. Loved doing that. I liked writing. I write poetry, not as much anymore, but I got one of my poems is published. It wasn't published the way I thought it was going to be published, but it is published. But it just goes to show that dreams change, and the things that you find important in your life change too. So, nope, wrong way. Wanted to be a history teacher, but the university counselor talked me into going into a degree program, which was special education, especially since most of the coaches got to teach history. I never ended up going to college. I graduated on the 6th of June in 88 and went to work full time on June 7th of 88 in retail. And I'm still in retail. I took 2 years, almost 3 years off when the year before I was pregnant with Ashley. I quit in May of the year before so I could help my mom and dad on the farm. And then I was off until August of 99. I went back to work. So I quit in 96 and May of 96, went back to work in August of 99. So, but what the school I went to, they didn't tell you what was out there. They didn't tell you anything about college, anything about earning degrees or anything like that. So it was like a whole different world. And so when my daughter started planning for college, I was lost. So I'm thankful that Ashley is in college and is doing really well in college. She's done with all of her what they call core classes, I guess. And now she's just in degree classes. She should graduate come May of next year, 2020. It's two bachelor's degrees. Dad, what are you cutting yourself some slack for? You children and got your thing. I was always by that. So, okay, there's the third one. I am very proud of my daughter. I never pushed grades at her. We never did. Never pushed grades at her. She was never rewarded for A's or whatever. If she had a test, she told me about the test. I told her she needed to study, and she learned her lessons herself. She came in one day carrying her science book and says, I have a science test tomorrow. And I said, okay, you need to study. She was in 4th grade. And she goes, I will. I said, okay. We had dinner. I said, are you going to study? And she goes, I will. You know how they're pushing their boundaries. I said, okay. So I told her one more time. I said, you need to go study for your test. And she literally came in, set her science book down on her lap, opened it like this and went, done. She failed that science test. And then she came home crying to me as she failed her science test. And I said, did you study? She says, I did. I said, no, you flipped the pages of the book, run your finger along some of the words, and said you studied. There's a difference. And then she said, she asked me how to study. And I told her, I got her note cards. And from that day on, she did all of her studying, and she did awesome with her grades. She basically a 4.0 through most of school. So this is going to be inside this journal. You're getting a sneak peek at the cover. This is the one I'm making the step-by-step tutorial on how to make. It is great that she learned early, because she was telling me the other night that her roommate who graduated from college this May had no idea how to study. And so she'd stay up all night long the day before the test and would get mad at Ashley for wanting to turn the lights off to go to sleep before her test and said, well, why aren't you studying? She goes, because I've studied all week. I'm not waiting to binge study the day before the test. Thank you, Dorinda. So yeah, this is the book I'm making for the step-by-step tutorial, and then these will be the fronts of some of the signatures that's going to be in it. This paper is, oh, I can't remember what paper pad it's in, but it's from now. I got it written down somewhere. Too many things. But I think I'm going to have to get off here and get myself ready to go to work tomorrow. What did Desert Storm was on? I'm gonna have to go back and read chat. Oh, you had a medical discharge. Well, still, that's so many people don't put themselves out there to even try that, Aaron. We have a nephew. Dan's father was served in the military, and his brother Bob and his nephew just spent 20 years as a Marine. So I have a lot of respect for the military. Those people put their lives, and I say people because it's not just men anymore. It's the men and the women. They put their lives at stake for everybody. And to even try to go through basic training, I wouldn't have made it one day. They'd have looked at me and laughed. Worked with the military, yeah. Yeah, and one of my best friends from high school retired from the Navy. So it is something to be appreciative. Your dad and son-in-law are veterans. Yep. My dad never served. He lost his leg before he could have ever served. He was, if he would have served, it would have been in Korea, but he lost his leg before that. So, and my brothers, neither one of them served, but it's a daunting task, I am sure. I always try to thank the vets as I see them in the military that come into our store. We walked up to a greeter at Walmart and told him thank you for his service, because he was sitting there and he had his hat on from World War II. And no, I'm sorry, not World War II, it was Korea. We walked over to him and thanked him for his service, and he cried, which it just goes to show that we don't thank him enough. So I thank your families, all of them that was in the military, are still in the military. But girls, thank you for coming to my channel. I hope I wasn't too all over the place, I'll say, with my stories and my ramblings. I've got to, oh, I missed a spot on that one. I'm going to get these sewn so I can get my signatures together and start putting them together and filming, recording, and I don't edit, so whatever you get is what you get. Thanks, Deb. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Dorinda. Everybody have a great night. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Thanks, Rhonda. I appreciate you all. Everybody have a happy and blessed night. Bye. Well, if I can find the off button. And